I'm trying to fully own my style and show up memorably, intentionally, and in full color. But I've spent decades dressing around a poverty story and a body story that no longer belong to me. If I don't do this now, I keep quietly editing myself at exactly the season of life when I should be the loudest. But if I do this now, the idea of being memorable solely based on how I show up stops being something that I say privately and becomes something that anyone who sees me already knows when I walk into the room. So I turned 50 this year. My last period was in 2018 when I was 42. I've also lost 80 pounds over the last 4 years. And I have a closet full of incredible clothes that I thrifted. And yet I still sometimes walk past the mirror and hear a voice that says, that doesn't fit you, or that doesn't look good on you. So I'm done letting that voice have the last word. Welcome to this personal curriculum series, Showing Up in Full Color. This is really going to be truly about showing up in full color, finally, out loud, and on purpose. So, a little bit about what's currently happening in my life. I receive compliments every single day, literally, on what I wear. It's either clothes or earrings, and I proudly say, thanks, I thrifted it. Or, thanks, let me show you. I go on Instagram, let me show you the maker who created these amazing earrings, and then I move on with my day. I've started to realize that I want more than recognition from others. I want to truly embody from the inside out the power of living out loud and in full color. I refuse to dress my age. I don't want to follow certain trends. I want to know why certain colors invoke joy and compliments, and why certain ways that I dress render me either feeling invisible or standing in my full power. I've been asking myself these questions internally, and I want to instead turn it outside and share what I'm learning with you. I want to fully interrogate how I got here, why it matters, and I'm really excited to go all in. Color theory, nature as inspiration, thrifting as a practice, how to find what you want, personal brand as something that you wear, not just what you say. The interesting thing is I don't really have a goal to reach. There's no finish line. It's just going to instead be a full, honest exploration, documented in real time. So here's where I'm starting. My closet is 99% thrifted or consignment. I have a body that I've worked very hard to be comfortable inside. I come to you with a poverty story that has shaped every shopping habit that I have, including the ones that I'm still unlearning. And I also have a deeply held belief that how you get dressed every morning is one of the most honest things that you can say about yourself. So, what I'm going to do about it is this. I'm going to document my thrifting. I'm going to show you how I find what I find, what I'm looking for, and why it works in my closet. I'm going to research color theory and learning why certain things light me up, and I'll share that with you. I'm going to audit my closet with real data. I'm also going to put outfits together on camera, showing you what works and what doesn't. I'm also going to explore and ask the harder questions underneath all of it about poverty, about bodies, about what it means to dress like yourself when you've spent a long time not knowing who that was. I'm doing this because I turned 50 in 2026 and I refuse to get quieter. Menopause rewrote my brain and my body, and I'm still learning what that means for how I show up. You might be here because you're also standing in front of a full closet. Maybe you're receiving compliments that you don't quite believe, or maybe you feel absolutely invisible. Maybe you are keeping your biggest declarations private. And I think it's time for all of us to stop doing that. At least I'm ready to tackle this with fervor. So, if I pull this off, as I actually begin truly living into being memorable solely based on how I show up without even having to say a word, then getting dressed stops being something that I do around those old stories. Instead, it becomes something I do on purpose every single day, at 50 and counting, in thrifted clothes, and very much out loud. So the next episode will be where this whole thing started. I'll share my poverty story. I'll share about my grandmother named Mary and how she fits into this. I'll also share how thrifting went from the only option I had available to the only option I now actively choose. I'm curious if you'll share in the comments, how do you currently feel about your closet? Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. I will see you there.